doesn't work for you to shoulders back, breasts out, headlights going, head up, and try to look as bitchy as possible. And stride, stride, stride.
Designed to traumatize Prince Harry with that journey through Paris, emulating that of his mother.
That is what the kids call a sweaty tryhard. It's obvious. I can see you're trying. I feel uncomfortable. I have kind of secondhand embarrassment for you. If you can't pull it off naturally, please don't try. Please just walk out like a normal person would walk. Otherwise, everything about you, as per usual with this gal, is alienating.
So buckle up because this one's wild. Word on the fashion streets is that Meghan Markle just got completely blocked. Not "we'll circle back" blocked, not even the polite Hollywood "let's stay in touch" kind of ignored. Nope, we're talking door slammed shut, key thrown into the ocean, and nobody's diving to get it kind of rejection. Balenciaga, yes, that Balenciaga, has basically said, nope, not today, Meghan, and cut her off like last season's failed trend. This isn't just gossip, this is high fashion exile, honey. She's been iced out, and the fashion elite are pretending she doesn't even exist.
Angela, do you buy into the idea that she's doing this now and that the reason that she's bowed out from the spotlight over the past few months is that because, as ever, has been a bit of a disaster. Even she acknowledges that. So she knew she had to come back.
Now, before anyone rolls their eyes and says, that sounds dramatic, oh no, it's not an exaggeration. Picture this: Paris Fashion Week. Flashing cameras, paparazzi everywhere, the air thick with perfume and power. The biggest names in fashion strutting through a maze of couture and confidence. Then in walks Meghan. She's glowing, confident, clearly thinking she's about to make the fashion moment of the year. But then jaws drop, not in admiration, in shock, because her outfit, it doesn't just resemble Balenciaga's latest collection, it's a clone, practically identical. Same sharp silhouette, same sculpted shoulders, same attitude. But here's the gag. It wasn't Balenciaga. And that's when the room shifted. You could feel it.
Yes, one person said she looked as if she was wearing toilet paper. So I think that they were not very impressed by it.
And that, my friends, is where the real drama ignites. See, in the high-stakes world of couture, copying isn't flattery, it's fashion treason. This is Balenciaga we're talking about, a brand that thrives on innovation, controversy, and complete originality. They don't just sell clothes, they sell concepts, they build narratives, they define eras. So when Meghan strutted in wearing a mirror image of one of their designs, without permission, without credit, without so much as a wink of acknowledgement, she didn't just break a rule, she broke the unspoken code of the fashion gods. And oh, the fallout was instant.
Who wore it better? And one thing that I noticed is that whatever Meghan was wearing, it was her moment to shine.
The whispers started almost immediately. Paris fashion insiders, the ones who never say things outright but always know everything, began murmuring. It wasn't just about the dress anymore. It was about her. Rumors started snowballing that Meghan had become unpredictable, desperate even, trying to claw her way back into a world she'd once turned her back on. And worse, the chatter claimed she wasn't just inspired by designers anymore, she was replicating them, down to the cut, the fabric, the tiniest detail. See, the luxury fashion world isn't just a bunch of pretty clothes on pretty people, it's a fortress, a tight-knit circle of trust, secrecy, and status. Once that trust cracks, it's game over.
And what was happening here? Why is she so shiny? It's like she got a bottle of Soul Glow.
Celebrities don't just wear designer outfits, they're given access to an entire world behind closed doors, secret sketches, mood boards, fittings for unreleased pieces that aren't even public knowledge yet. And to get that kind of access, you have to be trusted completely, because one leaked sketch, one idea stolen before it debuts, that's fashion suicide. And right now, that's exactly where Meghan stands. She's quietly being erased. Her name is disappearing from guest lists. Calls are being missed. Stylists who once called her a dream client are politely stepping back. It's not an official statement. It's an unspoken decree whispered across runways and backstages. Don't invite her. And in fashion, those 4 words sting more than any headline ever could, because to them, Meghan isn't a muse anymore. She's a liability. One stylist even threw shade, saying Meghan wanted exclusivity before she earned it. Ouch. Translation? She wanted the perks without paying the price. And in fashion, the game is everything.
What's quite interesting, I think, when you look at all of this, that that she is definitely suffering at the moment from a career slump until...
But let's be real, this didn't come out of nowhere. Meghan's fashion journey has always been a roller coaster. Every time she tries for that major fashion moment comeback, something goes off. Either the styling feels forced or the internet ends up debating her choices instead of celebrating them. And now, this Balenciaga fiasco, it didn't just stir the pot, it sent the whole thing crashing to the floor. Sources say she's been trying to mend fences behind the scenes, using friendly PR reps, reaching out to stylists who still pick up the phone, hoping to rebuild bridges one coffee date at a time. But when Balenciaga realized how close her outfit was to their designs, boom. Every quiet connection she had, gone.
This going to turn it around? That is the question, because Samara Gill said she is in one of the worst professional places ever.
It was like the whole industry collectively said, we're done. The doors didn't just close, they slammed. Welcome to the ultimate fashion punishment, the unspoken blacklist. Oh yes, it's real. It's not written down anywhere, but everyone knows who's on it. And once you're blacklisted, invitations vanish, stylists disappear, and those glam squads that once begged to work with you, suddenly booked and busy. You go from front row center to complete invisibility, faster than a flashbulb. And that's exactly the path Meghan's on. What's wild is that this wasn't even supposed to be a dramatic red carpet stunt. It was just supposed to be a stylish appearance, a simple I'm still that girl moment. But instead, it exposed just how fragile her standing in the fashion world really is.
But we need to talk about this whole Balenciaga pushing, and she, you know, with this, let's say...
All it took was one copied look, one viral side-by-side photo for Balenciaga to go, nope, you're done. And here's the kicker, it's not just about them. When a powerhouse like Balenciaga draws a line in the sand, every other major fashion house pays attention. Dior, Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, they're all watching. Because in the luxury game, power is everything, and power doesn't associate with unpredictability. Meghan wanted to stage her glamorous fashion comeback, but instead, she walked straight into a trap, one she didn't even know she set herself. That realization sent chills through the industry. What if she wasn't there to celebrate fashion, but to mine it? A senior fashion editor even summed it up perfectly. She's not collaborating with fashion, she's taking from it piece by piece. And once that quote spread, everything changed. Suddenly, no one wanted to touch her. Designers backed out of meetings, stylists stopped returning calls, brands began quietly removing her from event plans, just in case. And at the center of it all, Balenciaga, a brand already walking a tightrope after its own recent PR nightmares. They've been desperate to rebuild their credibility, carefully sculpting a comeback based on control and exclusivity. The last thing they needed was another headline tying them to drama, especially one that even hinted at stolen designs. So when Meghan's look went viral for being a Balenciaga twin, it didn't just annoy them, it threatened them. They moved fast, calls stopped, invitations disappeared, and suddenly the same industry that once called Meghan a muse started treating her like a warning. What made it worse? The photos. She wasn't just wearing the look, she was owning it. Confidently posing, laughing, even caught smiling during a runway mishap when a model tripped. That single image sealed it. It painted her as someone oblivious to how sacred fashion etiquette really is. To insiders, it felt like she'd crashed an exclusive dinner party and didn't even realize she was insulting the host. That's when it shifted from whispers to strategy. Stylists began quietly marking her name in red. Brands added unspoken rules. Don't share unreleased sketches. PR firms even rewrote contracts, banning access to non-collaborative talent, which in simple words meant keep Meghan out. And that's the thing. This wasn't just about one show or one brand. This was about her entire reputation being redefined. Meghan wasn't just missing from invitations anymore. She was being deliberately erased. Her image, her aura, her influence, all fading from the elite spaces that once adored her. Because in fashion, memory is long, and grudges even longer. Once a celebrity is labeled a risk, that label spreads like wildfire. Not because everyone believes the rumors, but because no one wants to take the chance of being next. It's self-preservation, darling. And that's how Meghan, the woman who once had every camera flashing for her, became the person photographers now quietly crop out. Her greatest weapon, her image, has started working against her. Fashion is a world of fantasy and illusion. It thrives on mystery. And Meghan, she's become too loud, too visible, too predictable. Every look she wears is dissected, every pose analyzed, every intention questioned. The magic's gone. And without mystery, there's no allure. In a world where exclusivity is everything, that's the ultimate downfall. Behind the scenes, the talk gets darker. Some stylists have admitted, privately of course, that Meghan's situation has become the example. The story you tell new clients about what not to do. One fashion insider even said, she's not just off the guest list anymore. She's the reason everyone's double-checking theirs. That's brutal. And the worst part? This isn't something you come back from easily. Balenciaga's silent rejection wasn't just personal. It was symbolic. A message from the top. We've moved on. They didn't need to release a statement. They didn't even want to. Because in fashion, silence isn't empty. It's powerful. And Meghan's silence? Deafening. Her name started vanishing from seating charts, coordination emails, and backstage memos. It was like she'd been ghosted by an entire industry. Meanwhile, her team scrambled to spin it, dropping buzzwords like forward-thinking, independent, inspired by the future. But instead of repairing her image, it just made the gap wider. Insiders saw it as proof that something was wrong behind the scenes. The rebrand felt rushed, reactive, not inspired. Then came the real shift. People stopped asking what Meghan was wearing and started asking why. Was it a tribute? A statement? Or a power move? Was she trying to provoke luxury brands into rejecting her so she could reinvent herself as a rebel, a disruptor, a fashion outsider who plays by her own rules? If that was her plan, it backfired. Dior, Givenchy, even Louis Vuitton started quietly freezing her out. No comments, no collaborations, no future plans. No one wanted to risk being caught in the crossfire of another originality scandal. And in fashion, once the air around your name changes, that's it. It's the first sign of exile. A designer from Milan put it perfectly. It's not that she wore the wrong dress. It's that she wore the right one, without permission. That single sentence became the line of the season. Whispered backstage, muttered at dinners, repeated in every editorial meeting. And then came the domino effect. Even her longtime fashion media allies, the ones who once praised her evolution and called her a trendsetter, began stepping back. Now they choose their words very carefully. No more icon. No more redefining modern style. Just safe, neutral commentary. Because in this industry, trust isn't a press release. It's the invisible thread holding everything together. And when that thread snaps, everything unravels. What's happening to Meghan isn't just about clothes, it's about power. She used to represent disruption. The woman who defied tradition, challenged expectations, and rewrote what royalty could look like. But in fashion, breaking the rules doesn't mean ignoring them. It means knowing them so well that even your rebellion feels like respect. That's where she went wrong. She tried to mirror power instead of earning it. She dressed like she had control instead of quietly building it. And in elite circles like this, power isn't borrowed. It's granted. You don't get it by copying confidence. You get it by earning trust, silently, consistently, without spectacle. Now everyone's asking the same question. What's next for Meghan Markle? Some say she's planning to launch her own brand. Maybe a sustainable fashion line. Maybe something tied to her personal story. But the timing could not be worse. Because if she does it now, the narrative writes itself. Stole it, launched it, profited from it. Even if it's not true, perception is reality in this world. And perception can kill a brand before it's even born. So the smartest move she could make? Silence. Not the PR silence that leads to a podcast or a photo op. Real silence. Disappear. Reset. Rebuild. Because Meghan hasn't been canceled, she's been muted. And there's a big difference. Canceled people still make noise. Muted people just fade away. It's tragic in a way because Meghan had every ingredient to dominate fashion. The face, the aura, the legacy, the story. But fashion doesn't worship legacy. It worships aura. And right now, her aura feels fractured, forced, manufactured. She wanted to be the next royal turnstile icon. Instead, she's become a whispered warning. The tail designers tell each other about what happens when ambition outruns etiquette. The muse who never quite existed. Because in fashion, your image speaks louder than your word. And Meghan's image started shouting too soon, too loud, without permission. Now the industry is responding in its own chilling language, with silence. Cold, deliberate, suffocating silence. And in the world of luxury fashion, silence means it's over. Thank you.